Hey there. If you don't know who I am, my name is NicoB, and I have been making daily gaming videos for about 7 years now. I'm a guy who likes to play most of his games entirely blind, and give you guys my full reaction and feedback based on my experience through the Let's Play. Along the way, I tend to give characters unique voices, and I ad-lib a lot of goofy moments in there that it tends to become a bit of an inside joke as the series progresses. YouTube has become my dream job and my livelihood. And thanks to it, I've gotten the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people and also to garner a truly wonderful fan base whom I like to refer to as my picky penguins. As a lot of you likely already know, YouTube is making a lot of changes to how it analyzes and rates YouTube videos. They've been doing this in an attempt to appease advertisers who have been finding that some of their videos have been showing up on controversial content. So to help combat that, they've added some new policies that help to make sure that ads only show up on videos that are deemed advertiser friendly. Now, the terms to this are fairly broad. There's a number of things such as, no sexual content, like extreme profanity, violence, controversial topics, things like that. It's a bit of a blanket term. When something does get flagged, it usually gets hit with this yellow icon right here, meaning that it's getting limited to no ads. I realize this situation has really put YouTube in a bit of a hard place, Do they sacrifice the advertisers that are giving them the money, or do they make it more difficult for their creators to earn a living? And, well, this is kind of the result of trying to find a middle ground. Out of my entire library of about 2,000 plus videos, only about 20 of them have actually been marked with the yellow demonetized symbol. So for a while, I thought I was one of the lucky few who had managed to avoid the long-lasting effects of this change. However, as I've come to realize in the past few months, that does not appear to be the case. So to sort of take a step back for a minute, over the past 6 months, my ad revenue has been slowly decreasing. Honestly, I thought at first it was just a rather slow season. A lot of times at the beginning of a new quarter, your earnings aren't nearly as good. It's fairly normal to see fluctuation in your revenue. However, I started to get really worried when I noticed that my earnings were almost half of what they were in previous years. And generally, as my channel has grown, my revenue has generally grown as well over the years. So to see it go backwards, not just a little bit, but a lot like this, had me worried. So I spoke with my network manager, and we determined that it is likely that my videos are actually being deemed as more adult in content. Now, we don't know for certain exactly what is flagging videos as adult content. We think it could possibly be some of the mature rated games like Yakuza, Danganronpa, maybe even Persona, or it could also have to do with the profanity that is in each of my videos. And as you guys know, when I'm going off on a tangent, I like to spew out quite a few F-bombs, and nothing I consider to be terribly profane, but there's a good number of them. The thing is, though, these videos that are likely being deemed as more adult in content are not being hit with the yellow icon. They still say they're green. So basically, to me, everything seems like it should be all right. But when my network manager and I went to crack down the numbers and look into it, we came to realize that, one, my CPM, which is my earnings per 1,000 impressions or views, was about half of what it was just a year ago. And when we dug even deeper, we saw that the ads that I was getting were the lower leveled ones and not the higher tiered ones that I had previously been getting. Basically, it means that very likely my channel has actually been affected by this adpocalypse, despite YouTube not telling me, which, let's be honest, is something that is incredibly indicative of YouTube in general. They've never been very transparent about this stuff, and they leave it mainly to you to figure out if things are changing with your channel. Even when they do mark things as yellow or demonetized, they never actually tell you specifically what caused it to be demonetized. It's a really messy system and incredibly frustrating to deal with. But to have this other system, this completely secret system that seems to be going on in the background that doesn't even tell me that I'm actually earning less revenue until I see my numbers afterwards, is even worse. And unfortunately, as time has gone on, my revenue has now dropped to the point where it's becoming harder for me to make a living doing what I do. So this leaves me one of two options. The first option is that I begin censoring myself to fit within YouTube's guidelines. So meaning less or zero swearing, trying to play games that will fit within these guidelines. And again, this is all merely speculation. I don't know even for certain that this would work. Perhaps I'm already permanently flagged, so because I've already got 2,000 plus videos with quite a bit of profanity. Or option 2, I stop relying on YouTube's ad revenue as my main source of income and try to wrest control from what is proving to be an incredibly unreliable system. There are other things that you can do aside from just relying on the ad revenue, such as sponsorships and, of course, selling your own merchandise. As you guys know, I do sell the plushies, and while that does well, it definitely doesn't do well enough for me to live off of. Sponsorship deals, I've never really been a big thing into. If I ever did one, I'd want to do something that I truly believed in, and while my network does offer me lots of different sponsorship deals, I haven't come across any that have been particularly appealing to me. For example, I actually a while back had planned to sponsor a controller for the Nintendo Switch that had The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on it. I was going to bring it up during my Let's Play. First off, the controller I got was not the Breath of the Wild one I'd asked for, but the Mario Odyssey one, which, okay, it's fine, whatever. But then when I got the controller, I realized, oh, this controller's kind of shit. It's really not very well made and kind of uncomfortable to hold on to. So I was like, oh, well, that's not gonna happen. Basically, I don't want to try to sell you guys something if I don't like it or think it's worth buying myself. So the other option is a subscription-based service like Patreon or YouTube's channel memberships. Now, I'll be honest, I've had people bring up to me about using Patreon and sites like it for a while now, and I honestly had never really wanted to use it. I really don't like asking my fans for money. I've done it on occasion when I've done it to actually raise money for something like getting my dog Bernie and also getting some different capture cards that I would use to help record new and different types of videos for the Let's Plays. But in general, Patreon, things like that, I shied away from because it makes you feel like I'm exploiting my fans to get money. And I don't want to do that. Even those fundraising things are only done after much convincing from my moderators. But after a lot of consideration, I've sort of come to realize I don't have many other options here. Now, like I mentioned earlier, YouTube has added a new channel membership system of their own, where for $4.99 a month, you can support your creator and get some new little perks. Unfortunately, though, the perks, especially in my case, aren't all that great. For example, you do get custom emojis that you can use for YouTube live streams, but as most of you know, I don't actually live stream on YouTube. I do it on Twitch. And the main reason for that is because Twitch's live stream system and the things you can do on it is just so much better than YouTube's. You have so much more control over the chat room, while YouTube's is like a freaking clusterfuck. Also, while you do get icons that you can see visibly in the YouTube comments section, they aren't very good. YouTube seems to take the icons that you give them and then they squish it down even more until they're like just blurry and you can barely tell what it is anymore. While this might be changed later on in the future, I think even that isn't really enough to warrant using it. And also the fact that you're stuck with exactly $4.99, no more, no less. I think that's just going to be too pricey for a lot of people. When I asked you guys on the Discord what you prefer, the Patreon or the channel memberships, the overall majority was Patreon. So for that reason, I am starting my own Patreon. However, like I said, I have been reluctant to do this, just also because I don't really want to sanction off a lot of my content behind a paywall, you know, with like exclusive streams or videos that regular picky penguins can't get access to. Honestly, if you're a picky penguin and you choose not to donate, that's fine. That doesn't make you any less of a picky penguin. And I don't want to split the fan base in half by implementing a system like that. But after some thought, I believe I've come up with a solution that will hopefully work well and still give you guys a feeling that you're getting something in return by supporting me. So for my Patreon, there aren't going to be any tiers. You can just come in at $1 at the smallest amount if you'd like. And while some of you may not think that is much of anything, if enough people do it, it truly adds up over time. You can, of course, always donate more if you choose to, and if you do, I just want you to know how incredibly appreciative of it I am. So instead of tiers, what I'm actually going to be focusing mainly on for my Patreon is long-term goals. So as we reach specific milestones, I'll be adding new, additional content to the channel and improving the quality of the videos for everybody whether you choose to be a patron or not. So things like a new comment of the day alongside the fan art of the day, the return of the final words with Bernie the dog, consistent bi-weekly live streams, and giving you guys the ability to vote on which game I play for one of those streams. And if this ends up doing really well, I can even start doing things like hiring an editor to help me with my Council of Voices series, meaning that I won't have to sacrifice a Let's Play series while I am working on the next episode. I'll be able to start holding small contests during live streams where the winner can win a penguin plushie from the store. And also additional types of videos, like more real moments with NicoB, like the cooking videos that I did before, and some behind the scenes stuff. My anime analysis videos, like I did for My Hero Academia a while back, which you guys seem to really like, and I would definitely love to do more of. Those are just the goals that I have set now, but I will continue to add more goals if this ends up working out okay. I hope this is enough to give you guys an incentive to want to help me and to support this channel. I realize not having tiers, like having your name show up at the end of every video or something, may not seem as appealing. And just know that I will do everything in my power to give you guys the content that you subscribe to me for. And it's my hope that if things work out with this, I can start bringing you guys even better content that I could have when relying solely on YouTube's ad revenue system. And I also want to say, if for any reason that you feel like you don't wish to support me any longer on Patreon, or you simply can't, know that you do not need to feel bad. I completely understand. We all have our own expenses that we need to worry about. So the fact that you even supported me for a certain amount of time already means more to me than you can imagine. I want to continue to be genuine and real with you guys. You know, I don't want to have to censor myself for YouTube. And I want to be as candid as I possibly can during my videos. So if you have enjoyed any of my content for the past 6 to 7 years, please consider donating even just a single $1 and help me to bring you guys even greater content. I promise your money will not go to waste. I will also do my best not to shove my Patreon down your throat. I know a lot of YouTubers will just like point it out every second they get. I don't really like the idea of doing that. While it is necessary for me to talk about it, otherwise, you know, I can't really expect anyone to find it. I will do so rather sparingly and not intrusively. I know a lot of times these kind of Patreons for YouTubers can be pretty hit and miss. I've seen quite a few people who have, well, their Patreon's kind of bombed, but I want to be as transparent as possible about what was going on and why I was deciding to do this. I hope you all understand, and I hope that I can continue to give you guys the videos that you all enjoy. Anyway, whether you decide to donate or not, just thank you so much, guys, for all these years of supporting this channel. Seriously, it's been so much fun. I feel truly blessed to have such a loving and caring fan base as you guys. Seriously, you guys are the best. I love you. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. I will try to do my best to answer any concerns or anything. Or if you have any suggestions for goal-based rewards, I'd definitely love to hear them. I'm going to be continuing to try to build to these goals, add new content, and improve the channel as much as humanly possible. Anyway, thank you guys again so much for your time just sitting through and watching this video. So my next video will likely be the start of a brand new series, so look forward to that. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.